Hello friends, today we are going to discuss data types in Java. So when we want to use any data, that time we have to tell the type of that data to computer. So data type defines the value that a variable can take. For example, if we declare a variable as a int data type, then it can take only integer values. Data type specifies the size and the type of values that can be stored in an identifier. So here you can see, for example, I have taken int a. So this int is a data type of variable a. A is a variable name. And when we use any variable, we have to perform these two steps. First is variable declaration. We have to declare that variable. In declaration, we have to specify the data type of that variable and the name of the variable. So here, if we have given int count, so we are specifying two things, that int is a data type and count is a variable name. And then we have to initialize. So when we declare this variable, that time JVM will store a memory location, and that memory location will be named uh, as a count, and whatever value we assign to this count, this is known as initialization. So that value will be stored in that memory location. So we can say a memory location will be a container which is named as a count and which is a holding a value 10. So the count is a variable name. 100, this value which is assigned is a literal or a constant which is assigned to this variable name or this variable, and int is a data type of this variable. Then in Java, data types are of two types, or they are categorized in two main categories. The first one is primitive and non-primitive. Then primitive data type is again divided into two categories, Boolean and numeric. Then this numeric data type is divided into two parts, character and integral. Again, this integral is divided into two parts, integer and floating point. And if we have to take the example, then these are examples of these different data types. The example of Boolean is Boolean. Example of character is char. Examples of integer is byte, short, int, long. And examples of floating point data type is float and double. So here we can say there are total 8 primitive data types which are supported by Java. Primitive data types are predefined by the language, and these are named by a keyword. So here you can say these are the different keywords like boolean, char, byte, etc. Then we come to this non-primitive data type. Non-primitive data types are not actually defined by the programming language, but these are created by the programmers. So these are also called reference variable or object references because they reference a memory location which stores that data. So here we can say this non-primitive data type is a string, array. So string we can say is a collection of characters, different various characters. Then these primitive data types, they have their fixed size. So for Boolean, generally the size is 1 bit, but actually size is not defined precisely. It is decided by the JVM at runtime. Then uh, of this character is size of this char is 16 bits or 2 bytes. It means when we declare any variable as a char, it takes 2 bytes in the memory. Then byte takes 8 bits or 1 byte in the memory. Short takes 16 bits or 2 bytes in a memory. 8 bits is equal to 1 byte. Then this integer int, it takes 4 bytes or 32 bits in the memory. Long takes 64 bits or 8 bytes in the memory. Float takes 32 bits or 4 bytes in the memory. Double takes 64 bits or 8 bytes in the memory. Now see this table here. So these are different data types, and then This is just a description, and then this is a default value. Boolean has a default value of false. Byte has a default value of 0. Short has a default value of 0. Int has a default value of 0. And these are different sizes of these different data types, and these are example literals which are given here. And this is range according to the size taken in the memory. This is the range of these different data types. Now, let me show you this with the help of one example. So let's write a example program here. So I'm taking a class, and class name I'm taking as a data type. So you can take any name as a class name. And inside this class, let's create main method. So syntax for creating main method is public static void main, and then string args. Remember to keep S capital for the string. Then inside this main method, let's take a variable of character type. So char a, and um, initialize it to a variable a. Any variable we can assign, any value we can assign here. Now let's create an integer variable, let's say int I, and assign any value, let's say 50. Then we'll create a variable of type byte. Variable name is b, and we can assign any value. Then we can create a variable of type short, the variable name, and initialize to it any value. Then let's take variable of type double, and any name, variable name, we are taking d, and we take floating point values for this double. Then take float, sorry, and variable name, and assign some value. Suppose we assign this 7, and we'll take one variable of type boolean, and we assign any value true or false. We can assign either true or false. Boolean stores only these two values, either true or false. And now let's print all these values. So for printing, system dot out dot println, and here the part of the string which you want to print as it is, we can write here. Suppose I want to print the character is, and then the variable name, sorry, variable name a. Okay, so this way we will print all the values. I'm just copying and pasting this thing. We will print next as a integer is the variable int, which is I, close the bracket, semicolon. Then again we are going to print this byte. So the string which is written inside these inverted commas will be printed as it is. And variable name. Next again, let's print short. The variable name is s for the short, and then let's print the variable double. And the variable which stores that value is d, and then we will print this boolean. we will print boolean. Boolean is stored in T. Okay. So let's save this program and execute it. So see here, when we execute this program, the output is like char, with the value stored in the character type variable, then value of integer, then value of this byte, then short, double, all these variables are, value of all these variables is printed here. So the values of these different data types is fixed. Another difference between this primitive and non-primitive is that these non-primitive data types, the value is that their size is not fixed. Why so? Because these non-primitive data types are defined by programmer, created by programmer. So suppose here we want to create a string. So for that we have to write string, that is a class name for that string type, data type, and variable name, and in this I assign any string. So this string is a collection of characters. So here in this, here total we have taken 5 characters, and one character in a memory, it takes 2 bytes, as we saw the size of this character. So one character takes 2 bytes in memory. So size of character is 2 bytes. And here in this string, we have total 5 characters. So 5 into 2, the size of this string is 10 bytes. Suppose we take another string and we give any name. Suppose I give S1, and here I store ABC, only 3 characters. So here the size of this string will be 3 into the size of character 6, so 6 bytes. So that's why the size of primitive data type is fixed, but the size of non-primitive data type is variable. That depends on the number of characters. So here in this string, it depends number of characters. If it is a, suppose we take an array, so array, the size of array depends the number of elements which we have assigned or stored in that array. And same way we can print those string values also here. Okay, so here we can write string and just the variable name which we have taken, the name of the string which we have taken. So let's save it and execute it. So here we can say this string name is printed where we store this hello. So this is the main difference between primitive and non-primitive. The size of primitive data type is fixed and the size of non-primitive data type is not fixed. So I hope the basic concept of data type is clear. Thank you so much.